Credit card debt in America has hit a record $1.17 trillion according to the New York Fed, and that's with an average balance per consumer of about $6,300. Yes, that means on average, people carry a balance on their credit card of about $6,300, which collects interest every month, and you always have to pay on that interest until it's paid off in full. The problem is a lot of people don't do that. And that's why Dave Ramsey hates credit cards. Now, I agree with Dave Ramsey on a lot about credit cards, but I mostly disagree with him. And I don't like that he never explicitly mentions why he doesn't like credit cards. But I will tell you exactly why Dave Ramsey doesn't like credit cards. It's because of his audience. See, Dave Ramsey's audience is all about someone who doesn't have good financial education or doesn't quite understand everything there is to know about money. They ended up in a bad situation, first of all, and they're trying to get out of it. So they already don't naturally possess financial literacy, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I agree with Dave Ramsey on a lot when it comes to credit cards. If someone isn't financially savvy, they should not have a credit card because they simply will not understand how it works. But people continue to add on to that balance and they keep spending money and they don't quite understand fully how credit cards work. You know, they actually say a good way to save money is to only pay in cash. Because when you pay in cash, you have to physically grab it out of your pocket, hand it over, and you're seeing the physical money leave your pocket and leave your hands. And in turn, this mentally tells you that, wow, I'm spending money. But when you swipe a credit card or pay for something online, you never see the money leave. All you see is a number going up on your credit card, which maybe you don't even see that because you're not checking it. So yes, to sum it up, basically, I agree with Dave Ramsey that some people should not have credit cards, but to just flat out say everyone should just not have a credit card. Dave even says he doesn't have a credit card himself, which I'll get into in a little bit why he doesn't have a credit card. To say that everyone should not have a credit card is crazy, but he's just doing it to protect his audience. He doesn't want his audience to get confused with his messaging. He doesn't want to come out and say, well, some people should have credit cards because they're actually good at money and they understand money. He can't say that because it may lead to some confusion. His audience are people that want to learn about money. They want to get out of holes and out of debt. And having a credit card is not going to help them. So he's protecting his audience by saying completely avoid credit cards, which is true. So here's what I disagree with Dave Ramsey about regarding credit cards. If you understand money and you understand how money works, credit cards are awesome. And there's a couple reasons why they're so good to use. Number one, you get tons of reward points. I just opened a Chase Sapphire Preferred card and I got like 80,000 bonus points, which, by the way, here's a bonus tip. If you call the branch and you say, hey, if I come in person, do you have any special offers for this credit card if I come to the branch physically? And I called my local Chase branch and they did in fact give me 10,000 extra points, which equaled to about 125-ish something dollars when it comes to the points system on Chase's travel website. So there's a little fun tip for you. But you can get a ton of reward points and save a ton of money if you understand how to use it. Remember, just pay it off in full every month and don't spend more than you should. Number two, why I disagree with Dave Ramsey is because it helps build up your credit score. The more you use a credit card and the more you pay it off consistently every month in full, you are building up an awesome credit score that over a lot of years, you can get easily approved for any loan you want. So when you go to buy a house, you don't have to worry about not getting approved for a loan or a car or a small business loan. Anything you want to apply a loan for, you will have a much easier time getting it because you've built up a lot of credit history over time. And number three, actually more credit cards increases your score even more. So when you open more credit cards, what it does is it increases your credit limit. So instead of maybe you open up one credit card and you get $10,000 of a credit limit, which by the way, you shouldn't go over 30%. And you open up a second one and they give you $10,000 as well. A third one, another $10,000. Now you have 3 credit cards. Your total credit limit now is $30,000, where if you just had 1 credit card, your limit would only be $10,000. Now, one of the scores and factors that figures out your credit score is the usage limit. So if you go over 30% of your limit, then there's usually an issue and it impacts your credit score. It's low, it's usually only about 10% of your weighted score, but still, it's a good chunk. And if you go over 30%, the credit bureaus don't like this and they see it as taking on too much risk. I usually like to stay around 5 to 10% at most. So the lower you can get it, the better. And that's the point, that the more credit cards you have, actually it's really beneficial to your score. I've noticed when I open up a new credit card, within the next 1 to 2 months, my score jumps hugely. It's not that way for everyone. Your individual case may vary, but I'm just saying what I've seen before in the past. So I want to watch a video and react to a video of Dave Ramsey that I found that I thought would be interesting to share my opinion on.
Lucas is on Instagram. Dave, I've got credit cards with high balances. I'm following your steps to pay them off. My question is, should I close the accounts and never look back once they're paid off? Let's see, Lucas. You have open credit cards that you ran up to high balances. And you pay them off, and you're wondering if you should keep them. Sounds like a dumb question. Of course you shouldn't keep them. What's the point in paying them off?
So yeah, I agree with Dave here. He should not keep the credit cards. He has proven that he is not able to take care of his personal finance situation, at least right now, and he's just gotten out of debt. And in order to stay out of debt, he needs to absolutely cut up those credit cards because basically he just can't be trusted with them right now. So I agree with Dave here.
And you have a tendency to use them, we've noticed. So of course you pay them off, and of course you close them, and of course you're done with credit cards. You're done with credit card. I don't have a credit card. You don't have a credit card? I don't have a credit card. You don't have a credit card? I don't have a credit card. I have debit cards.
Okay, debit cards are the dumbest things ever invented by mankind. You just get nothing from debit cards. The reason Dave Ramsey doesn't own a credit card personally for himself is pretty simple. He doesn't need credit cards. What would be the purpose of Dave Ramsey having a credit card? He doesn't need to build credit. He doesn't care about reward points. He doesn't need to save $100 off a flight or something. He doesn't care. He's a multimillionaire. He pays for his houses in cash, which he has said multiple times. He owns things outright. If he wants a house, wants a boat, wants a car, he just writes a check and pays for it in cash. What does he need credit for? He doesn't care about a credit score. He doesn't care about applying for loans. He doesn't need a credit score. He's not an average guy. He wouldn't benefit at all from having a credit card. But notice he doesn't tell his audience this. I wish he would come out and just say exactly why he doesn't have a credit card. But thankfully, I'm here to tell you that is why Dave Ramsey doesn't have a credit card.
And I go travel more than any two of you put together, and I put up with the same stuff everybody else puts up with out there.
No, you don't. You're a millionaire.
My debit cards work just fine, thank you very much, and do everything a credit card will do except put you in debt.
A credit card doesn't have to put you in debt. If you pay it off every month in full the exact same way Dave uses his debit card, then essentially a credit card is just the debit card with reward points. As long as you pay it off in full every month, it's a debit card with added bonuses of reward points and building a credit score.
So you have to rethink this, folks. You have to rethink it permanently. So get you some debit cards, put some money in your account. Don't buy stuff if you don't have money.
Again, yeah, I agree with him there. He's telling this specific guy, yes, get rid of your credit cards, go get a debit card. Okay, I agree with that. I would just tell the guy just to use cash. If you're really trying to save money, like I talked about earlier, just use cash. It'll save a ton of money. But okay, yes, for this specific situation, debit cards can be useful, and this person should not have a credit card. So that is about, in general, my opinion in relation to Dave Ramsey's view on credit cards. I've always heard Dave Ramsey's videos when he talks about credit cards, and it's just always kind of annoyed me, and this is always a video idea that I wanted to create one day because it just bugged me a lot because no one seemed to be talking about it. Dave's always like, I don't have credit cards, I don't need credit cards, because yeah, he doesn't need credit cards, that's the whole point. But I just wish he would come out more and tell people exactly why he doesn't use or like credit cards, because he's just simply trying to protect his audience, and for that I do respect Dave Ramsey for doing, but it's not the full truth. And there's a lot of people out there that may be misled that are actually really financially savvy, and they could be totally responsible with a credit card, but because Dave Ramsey told them not to get one, they're missing out on a lot of opportunities.